Welcome to our exploration of the most corrupt countries in Africa. Before we dive into these stories, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share it with your friends. By doing so, you're helping us spread awareness about the critical issue of corruption in Africa. In the vast and diverse African continent, there's a troubling reality that we must confront: corruption. It's a problem that affects many countries, leading to unfairness and greed. This journey takes us through 10 nations where corruption is most rampant. We'll uncover the stories behind these struggles and explore how they impact people's lives. Number 10, Guinea-Bissau. Corruption has infiltrated state institutions in Guinea-Bissau, as individuals within these institutions forge ties with both local and foreign organized criminal networks engaged in activities such as drug, timber, and wildlife trafficking. These state-embedded actors receive funds from criminal organizations to shield their illicit operations, creating a network that benefits officials throughout various state institutions, politicians, members of the judiciary, law enforcement and forestry commissions, and military leaders at the expense of the general population. Despite the prevalence of financial crimes, embezzlement, and corruption, media coverage of these issues in Guinea-Bissau remains minimal. Number 9, Comoros. Corruption poses a substantial obstacle to Comoros' development and governance, with reports indicating its presence across all levels, including within the judiciary, civil service, and security forces. The Azali administration dissolved the National Commission for Preventing and Fighting Corruption in 2016. In 2018, former President Sambi faced charges of corruption, embezzlement, and forgery related to a passport sales scheme. A parliamentary report disclosed that this scheme incurred a staggering cost of up to $971 million for Comoros. As of the end of 2021, Sambi remained under house arrest. Addressing corruption remains crucial for fostering transparency and sustainable development in Comoros. Number 8, Sudan. Undoubtedly, Sudan poses one of the most formidable challenges for combating corruption globally. Corruption permeates all sectors and levels of government, with public servants often soliciting bribes for services that should be provided without such demands. Government officials' direct and indirect involvement in numerous enterprises distorts the market dynamics through patronage and cronyism. Shockingly, the head of state and government is suspected of embezzling up to $9 billion from oil revenues. Number 7, Chad. Chad's recent history is marked by insecurity, pervasive corruption, human rights abuses, and an entrenched patronage system that permeates all levels of society. The exploitation of oil in recent years is believed to have fueled both armed conflict and corruption. The government's utilization of oil revenues to bolster its armed forces and reward allies is undermining the country's governance system. While the government has taken legal and institutional measures, including anti-corruption campaigns and the dismissal of high-level officials, many external observers view these efforts as politically motivated. There remains skepticism about a genuine commitment to effectively eliminate corruption in Chad. Number 6, Burundi. Burundi is widely recognized as one of the most corrupt countries globally. Petty corruption is rampant, often necessitating informal payments for basic services, permits, or licenses. Tackling this problem effectively requires comprehensive civil service reform, including the provision of fair wages. Simultaneously, there's a need to enhance individual accountability and impose penalties for illicit conduct. Number 5, Democratic Republic of Congo. Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, has grappled with violence and widespread abuses of power. Prolonged civil wars, combined with persistent mismanagement of state resources, have categorized the DRC as one of the world's most fragile states with severely underdeveloped infrastructure. The prevalence of bribery, political corruption, and inadequate oversight institutions exacerbate clientelism, rent-seeking practices, and overall instability across the country. Number 4, Equatorial Guinea. Corruption in Equatorial Guinea is a notable challenge, affecting the country's development and governance. The prevalence of corruption is attributed to weak institutions, lack of transparency, and a concentration of power in the hands of the ruling elite. Government officials, including those in leadership positions, are often accused of engaging in corrupt practices such as embezzlement and nepotism. This has led to economic disparities, limited public services, and hindered overall socio-economic progress. Anti-corruption efforts face obstacles due to the political environment and a lack of accountability mechanisms. Addressing corruption remains a significant goal for fostering sustainable development and stability in Equatorial Guinea. Number 3. Libya. Corruption in Libya is a pressing issue that has impeded the country's development and stability. Characterized by weak institutions, political unrest, and a lack of accountability, corruption is pervasive in various sectors. Government officials, armed groups, and individuals in power are often involved in corrupt practices such as embezzlement, bribery, and nepotism. This undermines public services, economic growth, and the overall well-being of the population. Anti-corruption efforts face challenges due to ongoing political turmoil, security concerns, and the absence of effective governance structures. Addressing corruption remains a critical goal for promoting transparency and sustainable progress in Libya. Number 2. Somalia. Corruption in Somalia is a significant challenge, impacting the country's progress and stability. Factors contributing to corruption include weak institutions, political instability, and historical conflicts. Bribery, embezzlement, and nepotism are common practices among government officials and institutions. This corruption hampers the delivery of public services, undermines economic development, and exacerbates poverty. Efforts to combat corruption face obstacles due to limited resources, political instability, and the absence of strong governance structures. Tackling corruption remains a crucial goal for promoting transparency and sustainable development in Somalia. Number 1. South Sudan. Corruption in South Sudan is a big problem that has been around for a long time. It's affecting the country's development and stability a lot. The main reasons for corruption include weak institutions, a lack of accountability, and a history of conflict. People in power, like government officials and military personnel, are often involved in corrupt activities such as stealing money, taking bribes, and favoring their family and friends. This hurts public services, economic growth, and the overall well-being of the people. Fighting corruption is tough because there aren't enough resources, political support, or effective government structures. Both local and international observers are worried about this situation and are trying to promote transparency and sustainable development in South Sudan. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the shadows of corruption. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give it a thumbs up, and share it with others. Together, we can make a difference by raising awareness and advocating for transparency and integrity across Africa. We're eager to know your thoughts on the video. Do you agree or disagree with our list? Additionally, what do you believe could be effective in combating corruption in African countries? Please share your comments below.